Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the top stories of the day as covered on Mega News. Severe flooding is affecting northeastern Greece as the Evros River has overflowed, inundating more than 150,000 stremata of land. Authorities say farmland, roads and infrastructure have been submerged while water levels continue to rise, keeping the situation critical. Emergency alerts have been issued to residents after riverbanks gave way earlier this week, allowing large volumes of water to spread into nearby settlements and rural areas. Local officials have closed roads and urged residents in flood-prone zones to remain on high alert and take protective measures, including the use of sandbags to prevent large quantities of water entering homes. The situation is being worsened by increased water flow from Bulgaria and Turkey through tributaries feeding the Evros River. The volume has exceeded the river's capacity, causing water to spread across low-lying areas. Floodwaters have already reached residential zones in some locations, while transport networks, including roads and rail lines, have been disrupted. Civil protection authorities have placed the region under a high alert red code through the end of the week, warning that conditions may deteriorate further in the coming days as the water makes its way to the sea. A woman has been assaulted by her partner in a public street in the Athens suburb of Kalithea in the early hours of Saturday. According to her testimony, the incident began after the couple left a nightclub following an argument. The 49-year-old man punched and kicked her repeatedly and dragged her along the street. Witnesses saw the attack and called emergency services. Video footage recorded after the incident shows the woman attempting to move away while holding her head, with a man following her. Police officers located the couple nearby. An officer reported that the man continued to pull the woman by her arms while she was on the ground as she called for help. She managed to break free when officers intervened. Authorities arrested the suspect on charges of domestic violence. He denied the allegations, claiming the woman had been intoxicated and injured herself. Officials urged victims to seek help through the 24-hour SOS line 15900. Data from 2025 shows more than 6,700 calls were recorded, including over 4,200 reports of abuse. Energy ministers from the United States, Greece and 11 other European countries have signed a joint declaration in Washington to strengthen natural gas supply security in Central and Eastern Europe. The agreement focuses on developing the so-called vertical corridor, aiming to boost regional energy resilience and improve cooperation across participating states. The declaration was endorsed by representatives from Greece, Bulgaria, Hungary, Poland, Romania, Slovakia, Moldova, Ukraine, Croatia, Lithuania, Serbia and Bosnia and Herzegovina, alongside the United States. Greece was represented by Environment and Energy Minister Stavros Papastavrou. Officials stressed the need to make full use of existing infrastructure and to remove regulatory barriers that limit natural gas imports. The agreement also highlights Ukraine's underground gas storage facilities, calling for their integration into regional markets and development into a commercial hub to support economic recovery and reconstruction. The deal was signed on the sidelines of the Transatlantic Gas Security Summit in Washington, a ministerial meeting organized by U.S. authorities and focused on energy coordination and supply security. Thousands of people gathered in central Athens to mark 4 years since the start of the Ukraine war. Ukrainians living in Greece and Greek citizens took part in a joint march through the city, calling for an end to the conflict. The demonstration began at a central landmark and moved towards the main square, with participants carrying Ukrainian flags and chanting. Families were present, including children in traditional clothing, as the march progressed through the central streets. Strong emotions were visible as many have lost friends and relatives in the war. At the same time, the Greek Ministry of Foreign Affairs building was illuminated in the colors of the Ukrainian flag. In a statement, Foreign Minister Gerapetritis said the anniversary marks 4 years since the Russian attack on Ukraine, which has led to hundreds of thousands of deaths. He called for unity against aggression and for efforts towards peace. Greece's winter sales season is drawing to a close on Saturday after 60 days of commercial activity, with total turnover estimated at more than 6 billion euros. Businesses taking part in the sales were required to clearly indicate discounts, displaying both the original and reduced prices on products. Authorities describe this dual pricing as a key consumer protection measure, allowing shoppers to verify the accuracy of discounts and compare offers. The same rules apply to stock and outlet stores, which were also required to show previous prices clearly marked marked alongside reduced ones. While indicating discount percentages remained optional, regulations required that any promotional messaging use only specific terms such as sales or offers. Retailers report that around 6 in 10 consumers made purchases during the discount period, mainly to cover personal and family needs. Demand was strongest in clothing and footwear, followed by technology products and home goods. These were the top stories of the day as covered on Mega News. Thank you for watching.